Welcome to the Slammers Podcast. This podcast, its authors, and its hosts are not in any way sponsored, licensed, or endorsed by, affiliated with, or connected to the Golf Association of Philadelphia or any of its affiliates. The Golf Association of Philadelphia and its affiliates do not endorse or support this podcast, the authors or hosts contributing to this podcast, or any of the content or opinions expressed herein. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely and exclusively those of the authors and hosts and do not represent or reflect the policies, views, positions, or opinions of the Golf Association of Philadelphia or any of its affiliates.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Slammers Podcast. I am Bo Garino, joined by my co-host here, Ben Litt. We're in the middle of August here. We haven't recorded in a long time. I think our podcast interest level kind of matched our golf interest level to start the month. Where are you at right now? What are you thinking about the game right now? Where do you stand?
I mean, I'm coming off a few great events, good courses. Nothing really in like the totally serious variety, but some fun times. I've had a blast with the game, kind of putting my game, kind of taking a backseat and just enjoying and being present. So I'm probably good for now. We got the NFL season rolling around. Got to do some prep for that. So yeah, I might see you in mid-September, late September. How about you?
Yeah, I was completely apathetic to the game for the first couple weeks of August, but I'm starting to kind of get excited for fall golf and starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I just feel like once August rolls around every year, I'm just so burnt out, right? And I think that kind of leads to the point of like that time of the year can really burn the 1 and 2 handicaps out, right?
Yes.
Like you start the season in that mid-am phase where everybody's signing up for everything, everybody's so excited, this is going to be the year, and after a lot of disappointment, and August rolls around and the conditions start going to shit and it just gets swampy and gross and you're like, I think I'm kind of turning the page to next year.
Yeah, I agree. My game is totally festered. Can't really find the planet off the tee. Can't make anything on the green. So that's really no way to play any sort of serious golf right now. So I'm not even sure why I'm signing up for stuff right now in the first place.
Yeah, it's fun though. Like you said, you're playing those invitationals. That stuff's awesome, man. I really like. The more I play, the more I realize that my game is not conducive to individual stroke play tournaments. If I really want to take them seriously and compete, right? Like, sure, if you want to just, I qualify for something, sure, but, like, you can't compete at the championship level. Those qualifiers, like, they've lost their allure to me a bit, but the invitational stuff is just the best.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it really is.
And we'll definitely get into that more later in the pod, too.
Yeah. So starting back off with our last individual stroke play tournament that we both played in was Hackensack, U.S. Mid-Am qualifier. I would say if they could have that every year at Hackensack, like the U.S. Mid-Am, if they were like, hey, next 5 years U.S. Mid-Am qualifiers at Hackensack, I would sign up. Like right now, I give you $500. Like I'm in for the next 5 years.
Yeah, with our contract.
Yeah, I would sign the deal.
Yeah, give me a long-term deal through 2029. Yeah. Yeah, that place is just so delightful to play any sort of somewhat serious competitive golf for sure. Yeah,
I just love that place. I don't know what it is. Like I know it's not. I'm not saying it's the best course in the world, right? But there's just something about it that I really, really love. I think I love the fact that they maximize the place. Not saying there's not a couple little tweaks they still could do, but the place is almost maximized, and there's just something about that, right? And it's so playable. You saw in the scores, it was very easy to shoot a mid-70 out there, right? It's very easy to shoot 74 or 5, but not many guys broke par, right? And I think that's great for mid-am level golf, for those qualifiers. It keeps it fun, and, the shot value is at a premium.
Yeah, I agree. Tricky greens, some really cool holes. Like we talked about it on the last pod, a lot of cool templates, a lot of cool great greens, but you could probably play 5 or 6 rounds around there with the same golf ball too. It's not a place that's really going to beat you up and you're going to lose a bunch of balls and force carries and water and stakes and everything. So it's really, really good.
There's only a few holes you could even lose a ball on, and you have to hit a really foul ball to lose one, I would think, right?
Yeah.
That bad par 5-8 comes to mind. That's the only hole I'm not really a big fan of. Like I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
A little goofy.
Right. Yeah.
Not much to it, but there is like that property line on the right. But other than that, there's really not many holes you could even lose a ball on. It's all in the angles, all in the greens. Just an awesome place. I really can't speak highly enough of that place. The vibes are great too.
It just seems like a course it was so ahead of its time. It seems like it suits the modern amateur game, let alone a mid-am event, but it seems like it suits kind of our skill level very, very well.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, they did their restoration like 10 years ago. Like they're still doing minor stuff, but like like you said, ahead of the game. Like they're doing what everyone's been doing the last 3 years. They were doing that 10 years ago, restoring that place, restoring the banks, bunkers. So yeah, no, just a cool place. What did you fire out there again?
I fired 79. Really crazy cards. An eagle, some birdies. Would have been a great better ball partner there that day. I shot 79.
That's the par 4. You tripled the first hole, right?
Yeah, I 4-putted from like 8 feet, point blank. Just
yeah, I remember looking at the analytics. There was only 2 triples, and it was you and Alex Kim, a Philly guy.
Really?
Right, good player out of cricket clubs. I don't know if it was something to do with the drive. It seemed like those Philly guys. Yeah, there was a couple crazy starts out there.
Yeah, the back was a little tight on that flighted 7-iron I buried in the back left bunker. So
yeah, that's pretty dead back there.
Yeah, and but to just miss every putt from point blank range there too, and just hockey it around the hole.
But then you eagle the next hole, which is crazy.
I did eagle the next
7-3 start. I don't know if that's ever been done there. I'm serious. Like that's a crazy start there.
Yeah,
'cause it's really hard to triple the first hole, and obviously eagling the second hole was tough. There was only a couple eagles I think on the day.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, very interesting start. Yeah, I played pretty decent. I shot 77, but I hadn't been playing much, and for me that was decent enough. I had a good time. Then we went out afterwards and went to that Blue Steel up there.
Yeah, was that Bloomfield?
Bloomfield, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, don't be surprised by the town. Not the best town, but I've gone there a few times and loved it, and I recommend it to you guys. And
great menu, good drinks, good vibe in there. Yeah.
So if you're ever up there, right down Blue Steel. It's about as good as it gets up there, I would say.
Right.
Top 10 spot.
We could almost tie in just as an addendum to that contract we'd sign with the U.S. Min-Am at Hackensack. We'll get Blue Steel involved for
right.
We'll get a price fixed menu in there for the next 5 years after that Hackensack Min-Am qualifier.
That's the ticket. I dated a girl up there for a while, so that's how I know all the North Jersey spots. Everything happens for a reason, right?
That's right. Yeah.
These fucking guys are ready to go to PF Chang's.
I know. No, I'll own that one.
That's bad.
I'll own that one.
That's
it
really
is
bad.
I mean, yeah, you've got the pedigree up there, so you got to trust the experts.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna allow that to happen on my watch. That's crazy. 2 hours up there, and we're gonna hit up Chang's. I mean, that Chang's is going downhill too. I know you're a Chang guy, but Chang is not the same, man. I'm kind of off Chang, honestly.
I think it's the variability when from location to location has gotten. I think the consistency has really gone down.
Really down. Yeah.
Normally you get a really consistent meal. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but
I think Chang is almost turning into like the Applebee's of Asian food, right? Like at one point, I thought maybe it's just my standards have been higher as you get older, right? You develop more of a palate, but I thought that growing up, like going to Chang's, it was like a little higher end than like your your normal casual dining.
Yeah.
But now it just feels very, very casual in
like
there.
a factory.
Yeah, like
very processed, very Cheesecake Factory vibe.
Yeah, I'm kind of out on that stuff, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I used to think it was the place where deals got done, but I don't think many. Yeah,
there's not a whole lot of guys closing.
Sunset that one.
Yeah, time to at least go up to Redstone or something next door in Marlton. That's
get whacked over the head for a chicken Caesar wrap.
Yeah, they have a good salad, but it's $28, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, sure.
And then it's funny because the next day after Hackensack, we were supposed to go up to the Patterson Cup. And when I say the qualifier, we were scheduled to play together, even though we explicitly stated we didn't want to play together. Right. The only note we gave him was, please do not pair me with Ben. And the tee times come out, and it's me and you.
1 p.m.
Whatever. We were that's not the reason I didn't show up. It's not that I don't want to play with the guy, but I wasn't feeling it. It just, all the way up in Hackensack. We got home late. Quick turnaround the next day out in, what is Moselle in?
Fleetwood.
Fleetwood. Okay. Fleetwood, PA. And my back was getting funky, and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna sit this one out and take some time off. You went up there. How was that up there?
I did go up there. That place is excellent. Again, if I could sign a contract for just a nice day trip out in the middle of the summer to Fleetwood to play that place in any gap golfer, I'd sign up tomorrow. Conditions are always pretty good. Mm-hmm. The greens are on the softer side just because it was humid, but the greens rolled true. The place is great. The vibe is awesome. It's a great place to spend a full day. Kind of in keeping with the theme of my tournament golf summer. I was horrific as always. 3-putted probably 7 greens.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that's wow.
5 in a row too.
5 3-putts, 5-pack.
A 5-pack on my front 9. Yeah, if you look back at my card, no one's going to do that. But you can see the express train I got on my. I started on 10, drowned one in that creek there, made a 5, and then just the 3 putts started. Yeah, it's frustrating to hit 14 greens and shoot 80 or whatever that I did, but a fitting end to my really lackluster tournament golf season. At least
from a gap standpoint.
On my own ball.
Yeah.
But that place is awesome, man. I think we've talked about this before. That 7th green, the par 5 that goes up the hill along the farm, might be the most idyllic, heavenly place in the gap.
It's like the gateway to heaven over there. Like you feel like you're one step closer.
No kidding. I couldn't have been more thrilled to just totally smother hook one out of bounds on my second shot there too. I had a great time doing that.
It's the opposite of like the ratty left side on 13 at Torresdale. Like that's hell, right? You get one in there, you're hitting in like the gates of hell.
Right? That Forsaken Mall and like that black top that's still there. I don't know if they've taken that out yet. But
it has gotten better over there. Right. I'm joking. It's more like the 15 years ago Torresdale.
Right. When everything was falling.
Well, like even if you hit it close to that gate, like you got scared like someone was gonna like grab your leg or something. You were gonna get pulled in.
Right. Yeah, those vines and everything over there could really suck someone in if they get too close. Right.
I always had such a bad feel over there. But anyway, the complete opposite. When you donate a ball into that field on the 7 Moselle, it's like there's no worries. Like, you're not gonna lose sleep over that one.
Yeah, God's got another Pro V1 over there that he can use for his weekend round too.
Yeah, that place is nice. That's a place where you really go to fill up your golf cup there, right? You can be going on E and like you play that place and you really just soak it in. Like you said, you're staying present in the rounds and just kind of soaking that place in. It really can give you a different perspective on the game.
Yeah, I totally agree. You just got to be in the right state of mind, and I think that place just helps you to do that. Right, I think there's some tournaments, some courses when you show up to the qualifier, it's a little bit rambunctious. Like a lot of people rushing around, or there's a weird range. You gotta you don't know where the locker room is.
Like Seaville.
Right. Yeah.
Logistical nightmare.
Yeah, and that place is just so easy. The range is there, the putting green's there. There's food down there. Everyone's delightful. Everyone's so happy to see you there. It's just a great place to disconnect again, just for one day, just to enjoy playing my horrific style of tournament golf.
And that was an 80, you said 81 or
80, 81.
Okay, I think the cut was like 74?
73? Yeah.
Which is low out there.
It was a par 70.
Par 70, so 3. That's a good score out there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Yeah.
That, we have to point out, I just thought about this, maybe the craziest finish, I think, in Gap history.
Oh, from Musina.
From Little Moose, yeah. Mm-hmm. What did he do again? I know I have it pulled up. Didn't he birdie like the last 6 holes? I want to say.
I think he birdied
6 out of the last 7 or 7 out of the last 8. I don't want to misquote this, but it was something just absolutely absurd.
Yeah. So Peyton Musina went out in even par. He started on the front. Bogeyed 10 and 11. He was 2 over par through 11 holes.
Basically on the cut line, right? Trending to be off the cut line.
Correct. So the cut line was 3 over, like we said. And then goes eagle, birdie, par, birdie, 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 birdie.
Oh my God.
7 under on the last 7.
Oh my God.
To shoot 65, 5 under. Medalist by 3 shots.
Talking about having some horsepower in your game.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's not a stretch where you really get like a rattling feel either.
No, I agree. I feel like
so go through it again. He eagles 12, right?
Which is a pretty easy hole. It's a pretty easy hole.
Hard eagle though.
Yeah,
because the green's tough. Like it's hard to hit a close there.
Very
sure, you can hit the 40 feet and 2-putt all day. I would agree.
Right.
But like eagle's fantastic there.
But then 13 through 16 are kind of a lot of par holes.
13 is probably the hardest hole in the course, right? That par 3.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a tough green.
And then 14 is weird because you kind of have to hit it down. You can't hit
that hole
driver.
Stinks. Yeah. Well, the tee they play it from the back tee at like 460. It's actually a pretty good hole.
Right, but they play
it up, which is fine because that hole is absurd from that back tee.
Right, but it's a 2-tier green. It was a back
crazy
pin.
Green. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a great birdie. Or no, I'm sorry, he parred that hole. And then 15 was a back pin with like a wedge just off green.
You have to fly it. You have to control your spin there. You can really
16.
Pull the string back
16 is not easy with a front pin, too, because everything bounces down there. Yeah. Right, so you have to really get your hop right on the second shot. 17 again, tough birdie.
Yeah.
And 18.
18's a very tough birdie. Because you can only chase one so far up there. You're going to have 175 in there, likely. Right?
Exactly, and the pin was front right, too. So it was a tough pin. It's one of those where the reeds are kind of tall and you can't really see the hole, too. It kind of gives you some kind of cause for pause there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just an absolutely insane finish. He was definitely getting in the Moselle mindful presence.
Yeah. Where did he catch it on the 12th hole? As soon as he got back up into those hills, right? He got to all that, caught that view on 12, he makes a putt, and then all of a sudden he starts to rise.
Because 12, you're right up by the farmland up there, too.
And 10 is probably the low point. 10 and 11 are kind of the lower points of the course vibe-wise. 10 is kind of ratty. That stream is
10
ratty.
10, and 11 green are probably the low point of the golf.
And 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah.
That stretch is low.
For sure.
Yeah, like you said, that'd be fun to get more qualifiers out there because it actually is worth the drive. Mm-hmm. Even for us South Jersey guys.
And again, incredibly playable.
Yeah, off the tee.
Incredibly playable.
Yeah, you can comfortably go up there with one sleeve no matter how you're playing and feel totally fine. You're gonna get it in the house with that sleeve.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, moving on. So I skipped that Moselle qualifier. Part of it was because I had a golf trip coming up like a week later, and like I said, my back was a little iffy, and I'm like, let me just rest up. We went up to Turning Stone up in New York. I didn't know much about it going into it. I guess they had a PGA tournament up there at the one course we played for I think like a 4 or 5 year stretch. Mm-hmm. The Turning Stone Classic. 1 year Dustin Johnson won it. The Cooch, who's been a topic of conversation as of late, won a playoff out there, like a 6-hole playoff. He ended up winning sudden death. Okay. Yeah, I think over Vaughn Taylor.
Vaughn.
Yeah, VT.
What a blast for the past.
Yeah, VT. Yeah, he. I saw that. The highlights of that was pretty cool. But anyway, we played that course, which I was so checked out with course names up there. They were all like weird. It was like I don't even know how to say it. And I just didn't even care enough to learn how to. It was like Acunute or something, like some kind of Indian reservation name.
Okay.
It was just such a Faz special, man. I mean, Tom Fazio, it was quintessential Tom. I mean, I sent you some pictures. I mean, the waterworks were in full effect.
Yeah, he couldn't have enough slate rock and outcroppings and stuff like that.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know what the budget they gave him up there was, but it was, I mean, just to run that water the whole year has to cost him so much money.
I know.
So the water, I mean, at one point he hits you with 3 waterfalls back to back to back. It's like, Tom, this is getting a little old, man.
He can't help himself.
Yeah.
It's almost a disease.
Well, it's almost like a Fazio showroom, right? Like if you were looking to see what waterfall you wanted to pick, right? It's like, all right, we'll take you up here. What you like this one? You like the 90-degree vertical drop. This one comes more about like a 70-degree. It's a little more flowing, right? Yeah, this one's kind of shooting water up. Right? Like we got the sprinkler up.
This is from our Babbling Brook collection. This is more from the Geyser collection. Right?
Oh man, the course was just okay. It wasn't a bad golf course. It was decent, but just the overall just aesthetics that Tommy tries to put on. I'm so glad that style of golf is done. I hope it never comes back. Right? It's just the antithesis to Core Crenshaw and these guys that are designing courses now. Like nobody's doing that stuff anymore.
Yeah, more minimalist.
Yeah,
sort of.
I mean, it's just so unnecessary. It's not practical. It's just silly, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? I will say, it's so fun playing a course that you don't necessarily love, but you learn something and you just write it down in your notes. And I think Faz, obviously we don't think he's the best architect in the world, but he's not the worst either. He's put out some good courses and he puts out good holes. He just, whatever. Some of it's a little too
He gets in his own way.
Yeah, he does. Exactly. No, the guy's certainly talented. There's no doubt about it. But he's almost like, he kind of just does something. It's like, Tommy, why would you do that, right? But one thing I really, really love that he does, and he did out there on a couple holes, and I love this concept. He put hazards on the right side of 2 par 3s, right? That only come into play for even the everyday golfer if you have it on the pin tucked right? Mm-hmm. The greens are very wide, right? Maybe 30 yards, 40 yards wide, right? Yeah. And he put a spine that bisects the green, right? So if you do have a championship out there, you can put the pin right? And guys can bail left all day, but they're going to miss the spine, go left, right? And then have a really tough, like 40, 50-foot putt coming back down, right?
Yeah.
And when guys give you the opportunity to play away from a hazard, like you don't have to challenge this hazard, right? But if you decide to play away from it, then you're gonna have a half shot penalty, right? By being on that left side of that spine. And he did that 2 times out there, and I just really liked the way the holes played. Like, it just made so much sense, because if you were playing that hole every day, right, it would really make you think, like, do I go after that?
Right, it invokes a decision.
Yeah.
And that's kind of Faz kind of breaks tendency there too, because you don't normally see the Faz charging attacks on green contours.
No.
That's not really how he penalizes you.
No.
Right, so that's kind of refreshing to see that he introduced some of those concepts there.
Yeah, he does usually have pretty benign green complexes. Not benign in the sense that there's a lot going on, right? But it's very rolling, right? He's not like a big tier guy.
Right.
Right? And then he's not a flat guy. It's like minimal waves everywhere, where you can have 12-footers all day that break a little left and a little right. Right? Little left turn, little right turn.
Not a lot of flat putts.
No.
But not a lot of crazy putts.
Not a lot of crazy putts. Yeah, that's kind of his style. I thought that was interesting. I'm trying to think if there's anything else noteworthy about that place. I don't think so. We played a couple other courses that were just absolute nightmares. Georgia the Jungle Specials, just crazy, man.
Really?
This one course they claim is like the second hardest course in the state, and like they said that, like, which, you know, obviously is just so arbitrary, right, to throw that out there.
Right, like, but some restaurants saying they have the best pizza on the East Coast.
Right, exactly, right. And the guys say that, and I'm just like, they said it in the pro shop, and I'm thinking, all right, we'll see how. I'm like, this place is really fucking hard, man.
What was the name of the golf course?
So the name of that was Calcuttas. I know I sound like a complete idiot saying that. Like I said, my Native American dialect is low, but it was Robert Trent Jones Jr.
Okay,
which makes sense, because that Robert can really.
He's committed some sins.
He's all about that hero golf, right? And that place was extremely heroic.
Just to put it lightly.
Yeah, to put it lightly, man. Oh my God, what a nightmare that place was. We got rained out there in the afternoon. We only played 9 holes, which was nice, because it was very just not a whole lot of fun. Like I said, it was so wet out there too. I mean, it was like ripe for a mudslide. It was like hilly and wet. Like, you almost felt like
right. You could almost like budget for one of the carts in your entire golf trip to just wither away. Right?
They make you sign waivers out there too, saying handwritten waivers saying, like, hey, if you fuck this card up, you owe us full price. Like, they really get you on the hook. Yeah, because I guess there's just some weird stuff that can happen out there.
And based on your track record with cart treatment too, it's probably warranted that you John Hancock on that one.
Yeah, I haven't had a relapse in a few years with kicking that. Ever since I kicked that cart windshield off, I've been a little bit nicer to the to the carts, but. Especially now they have trackers and stuff on them. You just can't get away with this stuff anymore. Right?
Of course. Were they on the path only?
Yeah, we were path only, which made it even more of a nightmare. And it was one of those really big courses where, like, you could hit one, in the left side of the fairway and be 100 yards from the car.
So we're schlepping the back.
Oh my God, it was such a nightmare, man. That's about when golf starts kind of losing its fun to me.
That's the overall enjoyment starts to plummet, for sure. When you got to lug the bag and, like...
And you're getting squishy under your feet, and you just start getting that, like, if I don't catch this perfect, I'm just taking chunks of sod, and very carpety fairways.
Yeah.
Not fun. Yeah, I mean, we had fun, don't get me wrong. It was a great trip, and I loved the guys. We had a great time, but, like, it wasn't because of the golf course, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it was one of those, it was hard off the tee. It was more like target golf, too.
Really targety, forced carries,
and based on at least what you said with the varying skill levels of the guys you went out with, there were probably dozens of balls lost.
Yeah, we luckily we kind of staggered the group that day. We had good players in our group that day, so we weren't looking for too many. But the guys behind us were like wounded warriors. I mean, they were like all nicked up. They were really, really discouraged. They were.
You almost had to come out there with a box of balls.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the ones you buy at, like, the kids selling them, like, at the course next door.
Like, or almost one of those bags.
Like in the egg carton. No, I'm sorry, just like random. You can't be playing any real balls out there if you're not a player, right?
Sure.
You just got to take whatever you can get and just try to finish, right? Just take the dozen of eggs.
So besides the wet condition, were the greens good, or was it okay?
They were just okay.
Okay.
They were all 3 courses were just kind of okay. Like, they weren't bad, but they weren't. I would say like 8s.
Got it.
8.5. Just like okay.
Okay.
What you would expect for a resort course like that in August, right, with swampy weather.
Got it.
I would say the greens met expectations.
Got it.
So the fun thing I want to talk about with golf trips, I think that's a funny exercise, is giving each guy a rating after the trip. a post-mortem call to say, all right, well, what'd you think of Ben on the trip, right? What would you give me?
Okay,
A to F.
Not only just as a golfer, just as an
overall value to the trip, right? Right. Because going in the golfer, like, you kind of know. I mean, no one's going to really find their game up in Syracuse, New York, right? Like, oh, we thought he stunk, but really, you know, you kind of know the skill level going into there. But no, I think that's a fun exercise to kind of go through and just say, like, it's stuff you almost have to do to really keep the guy's trip, hold guys accountable for their behavior. There's always a couple D minuses in that when you get 12 guys out there.
Right. And it's got to be a holistic rating too, right? It's got to be golf game, etiquette, ability to be on time.
Yeah, right.
Food choices.
Right.
Ability to hold their
alcohol.
Right. Can you think of any other good categories you'd pop in there?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think just overall, some guys just don't bring any humor to the group, and I really struggle with guys like that. It's like we're on a golf trip, man. Like, bust some balls, have some fun, right? This isn't like an HR retreat or something, right?
And I think piggybacking along with that, I think I struggle. I'm probably on the extreme side of this, but I really struggle with guys on golf trips that take it too seriously or struggle to take themselves too seriously.
Yes.
Right. Because you know me, I probably take myself the least seriously of like anyone, and I just struggle with people that are kind of just like
slamming clubs, like making it about themselves. Yeah, I think I was hovering in the A territory until the last day. I was being a little bit of a bitch out there, if I'm being honest.
Was that the jungle? The jungle caused you?
Monster guy? No, we played the same course twice. So we played that Fazio course on Sunday. Okay. And at that point, I was shot. My back was shot. Everything was shot.
And you were sick of the Faz by that point.
Yeah, at that point, I seen one too many waterfalls. No, and I really was being a bitch that day. So I actually downgraded myself down to a B after that day. Okay. Yeah. Got it. I mean, and I wasn't. I had like a couple like very, very mini outbursts. It wasn't like I was the whole day. Like I was, fun for the most part. But I just had like, a couple times where I was like, fuck this. I can't take this anymore. But no, it's fun. You gotta look back. We're always trying to better ourselves.
Right, strengths and weaknesses, right? There are always opportunities to get better.
It is what it is. If that trip was cut 1 day shorter, I think I would have been an A. But it was a 4-day trip. The guy didn't deliver.
It's all right.
He slipped up. While I was up there, you were playing in the Calcutta at Riverdale.
I was.
Pretty much your last go around there, it seems like, right?
Yeah, it was my last go around with me and my partner Dave. That event is so excellent for the format, the betting party beforehand. Just like the whole day is just so fun. For kind of listeners that are not in the know of what the Calcutta is, it's a 1-day 36-hole 2-man scramble where teams are auctioned off the night before for a certain price, and then all of the total auctions go into the pot, and then 40% paid for first, 30%, 20%, and 10% paid for the next 3 positions. It's such a fun event to bring a buddy out there and blow around 36 holes, hit a bunch of great shots, and I'm definitely going to miss that. We finished T4. We cashed second year in a row, 5%. 5% of the pot went to our team and our investors. You were one of the investors, so happy to give back, share your prosperity model.
What was my ROI there? 8.7%?
Yeah, so, our team just very consistent with the S&P 500 per year. You got it in 1 day, so can't beat that.
That was nice. I had a vested interest in that Calcutta this year because I had you guys, and then I also had Chris Lawler's team as well. And those guys delivered. They tied for first.
Yeah, they had to share first. The winning score was 15 under par. There were 3 teams at 15 under, and then we were at 14 under, 1 shot back, in a tie there with another team. Me and Dave said this. It was one of the most fun rounds we had in our second round. We hit so many great shots and had so much fun out there. And I think that's just a microcosm, I think, of where I am in the game right now. My game right now is just not suited to play my own ball, stroke play, metal play, gap qualifiers. That stuff chops me up, but I can really compete and be a positive asset in partner stuff. Like, I really can kind of flash in those events, and I'm glad I got one more ride in that. It's such a blast, man.
Yeah, that's such a great tournament. I'm glad to see the guy. You at least you know what your arena is now, right? There's a place for your game.
Exactly.
And it's the Calcuttas, it's the Canoe Brook Scratches.
Right.
Yeah, it's the Spring Havens, and yeah, the better ball stuff is great, man. But back to your point about the Calcutta, I don't know why more clubs don't have that tournament with that exact format, because we're obviously very critical of Riverton as a whole, and we've said some things, but that tournament is the one thing I wouldn't change a single thing about.
Yeah, it's really well handicapped as well.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely does favor low handicaps, but I mean, over the years, like any tournament, high handicaps have won.
Mm-hmm.
People that are carrying 10 and 12 handicaps have won. Two of the winners this year were carrying, I think, 6 and 9 handicaps, and then one of the other teams was carrying a 10 and 12.
Right.
So it's I think it really does evenly distribute the advantage for kind of any handicap.
Well, I think if you look at it on paper, I think, because what is it again?
So of the two players, the amount of shots you get per 18 holes, right? It's a 36-hole event. It's 35% of the low handicap and 15% of the high handicap. So me and my partner Dave, we were both around 1 or 2 handicaps. We got 0 shots.
Right.
And I think the highest amount of shots in the tournament was 8 shots per 18.
Per 18.
Yeah.
And it was probably like a 15 and a 13 or something, right?
Yeah,
something
exactly.
Like that.
Maybe like
even a little more. Maybe
8, 17 or 18 and a 13.
Yeah. And I think on paper that formula works so perfectly. It just comes down to that most guys in general struggle to play high pressure golf under money. Mm-hmm. And obviously there's a greater percentage of guys who are high handicaps who struggle to play. So like we see the guys, there's the one guys who do go well every year because they're not fazed by the pressure, even though they're high handicaps. They still kind of do their thing, and they end up right around the money every time. Most of those guys just soil themselves, and it's really.
So there's some epic bed shittings.
Oh my god!
Because I think we can agree though, like your skill level in golf does not correlate that much to your ability to handle under the pressure.
No.
There's some high handicap guys that are absolutely going to be steely and perform well under the pressure, and there are some low handicap guys that are going to crumble, right? For whatever reason, various reasons, right? But it seems like you either have it or you don't for that amount of money on the line.
Well, I always look at those tournaments for myself as an advantage because I don't want to speak for you, but I'm such a degenerate that right? Like when you have when you're putting whatever you are on football games on a Sunday, you're not really that worried about a few grand. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of these guys who don't bet get really, really just wigged out in this stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they just play the 5-10 at the club or whatever, and all of a sudden they have a shot that's worth $5,000. Not saying we don't feel pressure because we do, obviously, but like you want it. Like it's not like too much.
Yeah, you're inviting.
Now, if I had $50,000 on the shot, that would be completely different. Right? Then it would be like
the scale is okay.
The scale, right? You know what I mean? But like. When you have $20,000 in action on a Sunday, you're not too. It's just it changes things a bit, right?
Right, I agree, and I think the other thing we would both agree we love about the event is the betting party and kind of the characters that emerge there. You kind of get to see a different side of guys in that night too, because again, like you said, not everyone's playing for different amounts of money and their egos, right? You kind of get to see some people's true colors, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's definitely an event that should be more widely played at other clubs.
Just copy and paste.
No notes. Just no edits, no changes.
And the thing is, you don't need that many teams to make it a good event either. You don't need what do you have? 20 teams this year?
It was
22.
22.
Yeah, and it's perfect. You don't need you don't need to have a bunch of guys sign up. Literally, you get 40 guys together, and you have a good tournament.
Yeah, it was 21 or 22 teams, I forget, and we had $70,000 in the middle.
Yeah,
and
great.
I think that was a record.
It's a great number. Yeah,
it's it's a fantastic event.
That was probably the best bet I'll get in for the rest of the calendar year.
Really?
You got you and the Lit / Gall and then the Lawler Anderson. That I looked at that ticket and I said, this is the best ticket I'm gonna have.
Right. You had at least one winner there.
Yeah.
There was no way you were leaving.
There's no way I was coming up there. It wasn't a ticket ripper. There was just no chance. Right. I was gonna get something back for it.
And I'm glad you got to get winners on both of them. So hopefully that builds a bankroll for the NFL season where we can give it all away.
Yeah, and then getting back to you, this is like not only better ball season, but it's also father-son season. Play with the Jersey father-son with my dad. up at Rock. I feel like I'm getting old, man. You know, like your dad, like the way he pronounces stuff. You're like, Dad, like why can't you just say it the right way? I feel like I'm entering that stage in my life. Roxtisicus, I think it is.
Okay.
Roxtisicus. I don't even. It's like it's another
it's
Indian.
tongue twister.
It's another Indian. I struggle with these Indian tribes.
Okay.
Their logo is like a chief, you know. Anyway, what an interesting course that was, man. Just unbelievably interesting.
Was that near New York, or was that?
It's in Mendham,
okay.
Up in the hills of Mendham.
Okay.
Like, it's almost amazing they were even built a course there in the 60s. It was built in 66 by the historically worst architect, Hal Purdy.
Oh, Hal.
Big Hal.
Oh, no.
Also, designer of Medford Lakes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up Hal because I'm done talking out of my ass here. Let's see what we got for
Yeah.
Hal. Yeah, Hal was beneficiary of starting right after World War II when all the dark ages of golf architecture began.
Gotcha.
And then guys like Hal surfaced. Man, why can't I get a good... I mean, it's hard to even find anything on this guy. He's just... So I finally got Al pulled up here. It's not a really widely searched term on Google. Battleground Country Club in Jersey, which is known to be awful. I've never played it, but it's just supposedly a dump.
He had Pittman in there as well.
Oh, yeah, Pittman in there. Okay, I've never played Pittman, so I can't say anything on it, but just, haven't heard great things. Colonia Golf Club in Jersey. Flanders Valley. He designed that Forsgate Palmer. Banks, obviously awesome. Palmer, double thumbs down. Really bad.
I've never gotten up there.
Not good. Glenwood up there in Jersey, which I've heard is just a nightmare.
Okay.
Medford Lakes, right? He did Ocean Acres outside of LBI, which is just a mess. Rutgers University course, really, really bad. Anyway, he did this Roxtisicus too. And I actually liked the course for the most part, man. I was impressed. It was the first Hal course I played that I was like, this is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
When I looked it up, I was shocked that Hal did it. Had a lot of good holes.
Yeah, from the pictures you sent, it looked like it had some good character. Mm-hmm. A lot of trees,
Ton
too.
of character. Ton of character. Character was off the charts. Some bad holes, but with that land, you couldn't avoid them.
Yeah.
He did a pretty good job. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was later in Hal's career, 66. He was probably getting pretty good about it right before he died, really.
Gotcha. He was just getting hot.
Yeah, he was
almost, we could say that's his magnum opus.
I think it was. I think it really was. Looking at that,
the crown jewel of the portfolio,
the resume. The resume I just looked at. I mean, it's nice to see that he was getting better with time. Yeah, and then the fallout where no courses were really built. In the 60s and 70s, there wasn't much built, and then the Trent Jones just kind of fired up shop. Trent Jones was like what, late 70s, 80s, and then Pete Dye, 90s, Foz, right, early 90s, late 80s. Mm-hmm. And then came the Hans and all those guys.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, it was a fun tournament. We got rained out, played 13 holes, but I enjoyed it. I had to just mention that just because, we've given Hal some crap, but, Hal's got some good holes out there.
Did your dad show any game? Did he flash out there at all?
He did play pretty well, actually. Nice. Yeah, fresh out of the hospital bed, too.
Oh, my God. Yeah. What was he fighting?
He's had some high blood pressure.
Oh, God.
The guy's eating too much meat, man. He just can't stop eating the steak. It's just no good.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta get him on the chicken. Yeah, he just he really shouldn't have been out there. He was just sweating like a dog. He didn't look good. He really didn't. Like, he was really like
pale.
Oh yeah.
He needed electrolytes.
Yeah, we've been getting him on the electrolytes. Okay. We've been getting him he's been getting the mag baths and stuff, right? But he's unbelievably depleted and like a lot of stuff. Right?
I bet his normal blood labs are just a nightmare.
Yeah, red flags everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he didn't look good out there at all. He played fine, but visibly he didn't look the part.
But that's what you expect from a guy like that. He's a gamer.
Yeah, he's gonna show up.
He's such a gamer.
Yeah. Well, he was in the hospital the night before, and I called him like, dude, we're not gonna play in this tomorrow, right? He's like, bro, you better bring your fucking A game. I'm gonna be there. I'm like, dude, it's gonna be 90-some degrees. Like you almost fainted earlier. Like, I don't feel like driving up to North Jersey and then something happening, Next, we're in Bergen County Hospital or something, right? Like, it was probably good it got shortened to 13 holes because he really didn't look good out there.
He was going to wither away.
Yeah.
He was on the verge of an episode.
I mean, I'm telling you, he was sweating more than anybody in the field. I don't know how he was holding on to the club. All right, so that gets us to like August, and then moves into the last gap major of the year, which was the Patterson Cup, right?
Weather shortened.
Yeah, weather shortened. Still 36 holes, which it's been in the past. This was the first year that they attempted to move it to 54, and Mother Nature did not cooperate. I can't believe they even got as many holes as they did in. That forecast looks so grim. We texted each other right before, and we're like, how have they not scheduled this? Right? Based upon the forecast. Like, how are they going to get this in? And kudos to them, they stuck it out, and they got a lot of the tournament in. Almost the whole thing. Right?
Yeah, they got. Yeah, what did they get? 12 or
45, like almost like 47 or 8 holes in. I think. Yeah. And then they ended up having to scale it back to 36. Troy Venucci ended up being the winner, led wire to wire, and even when they cut it short, he was still leading, which was great, right, for the overall tournament, because it would have been really hard, I feel like, as a committee if he was losing. And then they say, oh yeah, we're just going to make it 36 holes and make it right, like that's right. I think it made their decision a lot easier. The fact that not only, like, even if he was tied for the lead, it would have been tough to make the decision. But it's like he was leading the whole time, right? He's leading when the rain delay hits. He led through 36 holes. It's the guys that a deserved champion.
Yeah, he's the heavyweight champ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, there was no asterisks, no nothing. The guy won the golf tournament. Yeah, so happy for him, man. He had a tough start to the season after a great season last year, but he's just so good. I mean, he shoots in the 60s literally every time at Little Mill. You know how tough it is out there. The one day in our game, he shot 29 on white, 7 under. It's like just really just
that's gross.
Just absolutely just silly stuff, and just a matter of time before that translates somewhere else, right? Yeah, it's not like he's doing this at the golf farm down the street, right? I mean, this is
Woody's Par 3.
I mean, Little Mills, there's just that stuff translates at some point. So he and then he also won the club championship at Little Mill the week before, which has basically just become a complete joke of an event.
It's just the Troy Venucci Invitational.
Yeah, it's just the victory lap starts, in that first round, and it's just there's no one up there that can compete at all. Right. Like at this point, like it's really gotten to the point where it's like it's almost like it would be a good tournament if he didn't play. Yeah, it would actually be fun. Yeah, right? You'd be like, oh, like this year anybody could have kind of won it, right? But nobody has the firepower to keep up with him out there. And,
how many shots did he win by?
10.
Ooh.
Yeah, 27 hole stroke. Just not going to make any mistakes out there, and you got to shoot. I think he shot 2 over for 27 holes, but they trick the course up. They make it play so hard.
Do they? I mean, what do they do about it?
So they put one blue dog leg. Yeah. They put the tee box back on the putting green.
Oh,
just like crazy stuff like that. The six blue, they put the tee box all the way back on the 5th tee across the water there.
Oh my god!
So both of those par 5s play like 600 yards. And they're so tight.
See, that's interesting because one blue from like the normal back box is kind of weird for me. Like I could get away.
Too.
I could get I almost invite more room back there, so I can kind of have, because the dog leg right there is kind of the widest part of the fairway. Right, if I'm hitting driver from the up tee, you kind of have to cut the corner more.
You do.
And so I kind of invite that more back tee, but 6 sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it really turns into a 3-shot hole.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's funny because they stretch it out for the club championship, and it's fine, whatever. But it's a bad golf hole from that back tee on that.
It's a bad golf hole from any tee.
It is bad, but at least from the up tee you can kind of chase one up there, and it's one of those holes that's bad for us, but for like a pro it actually would be a good hole. Mm-hmm. Like for Hideki Matsuyama, who can hit like a high cutting 4-iron onto the green, like it would be a fun hole to watch a pro play. Mm-hmm. But for the average scratch golfer, it's not a fun golf hole. No, because not many guys have that high towering 230 cut over the trees, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I know you can hit it, but
not often.
Not enough to really trust it under the gun, right?
No.
So that tournament, and as long as he's a member there, and no one new joins, that you might as well just start printing his name for year after year here. My days of winning club championships are certainly over for the foreseeable future.
No, you're not a one and done, are you? No, definitely not.
No, if I stay there.
I know.
Yeah, no. If I leave at some point, then yeah, for sure I could throw my hat in the ring at a normal place, but not there.
Just wanted to go over some scores. Troy shot 64-68, total of 8 under par. Morgan Laughlin second, 67-67.
Penn State.
Under.
I think he plays for Penn State guy. Kid, right? Yeah.
Third place, Patty Iswan, who won the Silver Cross at 14 under par. He shot 5 under, 68-67. So, and
what an impressive Silver Cross winning by Pat. Like the numbers, 14 under for those 4 rounds, right?
65, 69, 68, 67. That's some good playing.
Really good at White Marsh and Concord. Wow.
Beating Austin Barbin by 10 under, at 10 under, who was 4 shots. And then 4 shots back at him was Pat Sheehan, 6 under, who made like the round of 32 in the USM.
Yeah.
Which is so nuts.
I know.
These guys are so good, man. So much better than our competition 10 years ago in these things.
I know.
It's gotten so off the rails.
I know, like a guy like that, like might not even make your top 3 players to watch, like in a Gap Open, and he's playing the USM.
Yeah.
The top, like you said, top 32 guy in the country out there, right? So
yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, like it's also weird. And Pat also won the Philly or the PAM at Huntington Valley. It's just weird how certain, I don't know what it is, and I see it with Jersey and Gap, right? And then you see it with Gap and PA. Like that Sheehan, obviously a phenomenal player, but he doesn't really show out too much in Gap stuff, it seems like. Like a guy like that good, you would think, how's he not won a Gap tournament by now?
Right. He won the freaking PAM.
Right. And that happens with Jersey and Gap, too. Where some guys seem to play better in the Jersey stuff, and some guys play better in the Gap stuff, and then they go, it's weird how it doesn't always correlate. I don't know if it's like a mental thing, or they just like the courses a little bit better.
I think golf's just a fickle game, man.
Yeah, it's just fickle. It's small. At the end of the day, it's a small sample size.
Yeah,
it's only a few tournaments.
You're talking 5 year, right?
Yeah. So. That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that Iswan 14 under. That's just wow. I mean, if you gave me an over under early in the season, I mean, I feel like I would have had it at like 9.5. Like he would have shattered that by like 5 shots.
Yeah.
Right. If you told me what the Silver Cross winner is going to be for 4 rounds at those courses.
14 under.
14 is.
That's premier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also want to take a second to shout out Concord, because I heard, I mean, they had to deal with the weather conditions and obviously the dump of rain. I heard before the event even started, they were so pumped up to get that place flying and just in really ripe condition for the event too. So it sucks that the rain kind of cheapened that too. But I heard the course was great. I mean, it's a classic Flynn. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and I heard the conditions held up really. Obviously not as firm and fast as they would want it, right? But it definitely held up for the elements for sure.
Yeah, I drove past there the other day and drove in there, and it looks like really, really good. Like a new vibe than it had when I played it 15 years ago. A lot of trees out, and the fescue looked good. It just looked good. I saw that video Gap did on that new 16th hole, and that's looked like a worthy host.
Yeah, a championship finish too. I heard that 16th hole, that par 5 was really long.
600.
18 was brutal too.
Yeah, 18. I think that's usually. I don't know if they switched that permanently, but when I played there, it was a par 5 on the card. I think they just play it as a 4 for the tournament, which is great. Yeah, which you obviously have to do, and strong finish there. Yeah, that's great, man. It's great to see clubs like that throw their hat in the ring, and like you said, actually want to host the event, get really behind it. Try to gear it up, put work into the course to host stuff like that. That's what we need more of. It's awesome.
Definitely.
Speaking of majors, you want to touch on the majors for next year a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we have some rumblings here about a couple of the major venues for next year. Funny enough, Riverton Country Club is going to be hosting the Philly Mid-Am.
That's been set in stone for quite some time.
Yeah. Comfy place for us, so hopefully we can get in.
Yep. I'm either going to play or caddy. If I don't get in, I'll caddy for somebody, because I know those greens. I might even throw an auction out there on the podcast.
Sure.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the guy has serious pedigree out there for sure.
No, I would
calcuttas, just five-figure wins all over that place.
Yeah, no, I could. I'm joking. I caddy for free, but yeah, it would be fun to. I would like to go on someone's goods bag there and really help them out there.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really good for the Mid-Am. It's a great time of year for it. What is that? Normally mid-May.
Yeah,
that's a great time.
Yeah, really pin dependent out there. If you set the right pins and you grow the rough up, and the greens are still firm, then I think it'll be really good.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious to see what they do with 15.
Yeah, with the tee and that whole. Oh, yeah.
We'll
We
see.
might even want to get into that. Yeah, that's that. Maybe that
different discussion for a different day.
Yeah. No, I agree. That could be a weird local rule.
And then for the AM, what we're hearing is Aronimink is going to play host for the Philly AM with the match play there, and Overbrook is going to be the other stroke play qualifying course. That's nice.
That's awesome.
That's just an exceptional 2 venues right there. I think just accept no notes.
No.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's just amazing.
That's answering the call.
Yeah, absolutely. And then moving on to the Gap Open, we've also heard Bitterman. Bitterman is going to be the open venue site. It feels like not a lot of, like, I've played there, you've played there.
I haven't played there.
Oh, you haven't played there?
That's one of the only good tracks in the area I haven't played.
Okay. I feel like a lot of people don't know the game that's going on down there. That's a great spot, man. That's exciting.
I rode past there and I saw the property and my jaw dropped. I was like, wow, what is this? You know, like you could tell that place just looks so fun.
Yeah.
It looks like half par galore out there too, which I just love.
Yes.
Like Golf Mills, right? Very similar vibe to that, where it's like par 4s that play like 4.5s and 5s that play like 4.5s, right? And so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's great to have Delaware in the mix again for a major. I'm trying to think the last time they went to Delaware it was probably Wilmington for that Patterson Cup, right? And then I've heard nothing really on the Patterson Cup, but apparently there's a good venue coming there too. So this could be really a signature lineup in store for next year. I think I really have to amp up that winter practice regimen as we're kind of figuring out these venues.
Well, that gets you excited too for guys like us, and that's the thing. Like we said, you can't have premier venues every year, right? And if you're a competitor, right? You know, if you're an Itzwan or a Troy or an Andy Butler, you don't really care where the event's at. You're at the end of the day, you just are there to win the event.
Yeah, hoist some hardware.
I mean, for guys like us who are just happy to tee it up, it's hard to get excited about some of these venues, right? That we've had the last couple of years, and it's hard because at the end of the day, that's all we're really trying to do is just play the golf course in a competitive environment.
Under the lights.
But we're not competing is my point. We're there just to literally experience, right?
Yeah.
And the experience is obviously greatly diminished at, some of these courses they've had it versus, an Aronimink or something, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that will certainly, get you excited to be like, yeah. Because a lot of times you play in these qualifiers and you're like, I don't even know how much I even want to get into the event. Like, I'm going to go out there for a day or two, right? Not compete, take days off of work, right?
And play bad.
It's just like you almost sometimes you don't qualify, and then there's multiple times where I don't qualify for something, and I'll check the day of the event and be like, thank God I'm not playing out there.
I think
but it's sad. That's a sad state of your game. Is my point.
Exactly. I felt that same way about that Most Ellen qualifier. If I got in and then I had to go play in the rain at Concord, like I had to play in the rain with my terrible game, I was going to have no fun. And I'm going to take off work.
No,
I was just going to totally get beaten up out there. That's a big boy long golf course in conditions that I just am not prepared for. I didn't study a minute for that exam.
No, and that's what am I doing out here special?
Yeah.
Right? Like this is you can come back crossing that Delaware Memorial just unbelievably low. right? Just drenched and just like, man, what like this season needs to end.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously Aronimink, and that's awesome, man. That's good news. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's the start of more really good things to come. Oh God, they're just ripping that place apart. That's so scary. So I'm looking at these scores.
Jayville?
I'm looking at scores for that. Yeah, as we're recording, they have that Donald Ross Better Ball Championship. It's a Philly Pub Links event, and Andy Butler and Troy Vanucci signed up, and they're just stealing guys' pro shop credit out there. That's a shame. I mean that's
grand larceny.
I was gonna say they're committing a crime for signing up for that thing. They are 16 under through 28 holes.
It's almost like the Harlem Globetrotters, right? Like they almost should play like the last 9 holes like left.
Right, exactly.
That's nuts.
They're playing the last like one club golf for the last 9 holes, and they're still gonna win.
How many did they clear a second?
They are 5 ahead a second. Yeah, and and stuff like that, like you can never close that gap.
No.
Like that team would have to birdie the last 8 holes and hope that like something happens to Troy or Andy's health. Like, right? They even have like a chance. right? Because they're not going to make any bogeys, obviously, and they're going to make at least it's done. Yeah, like you said, it would almost be more fun if they did. It's like the one story they say about what Mo Norman did. He just had a 3-putt from 10 feet to win a tournament, and he just whacked the ball off the green into the bunker, and then made himself get up and down to win. That guy was crazy. I love that because he wanted to see if his bunker game could hold out. I think he did get it up and down. Is the story? It's so ridiculous. But they need to start doing stuff like that just to keep people coming back for next year.
Sure.
Anyways, PubLink stuff. I played in the. They had an over/under at Whitford on Monday, under 50 over 50 deal.
Mm-hmm. Better ball.
Better ball. Yep. I've played in the last few years. It's a really fun event. Whitford's a fun. We've spoken about Whitford before. It's a fun course. They've done some new changes out there. Some new bunkering. Bunch of trees out. They've made the holes that need it improvement. They've really made a lot better. Like that 8th hole. They took all the trees out on the left-hand side and put a back tee way back to the right.
Nice.
It went from one of the worst holes on the course to one of the better holes, I think.
The dog left up.
Yeah. So now you can almost see the green. They could probably even take a few more trees out on the left, but you can pretty much see the whole hole. You don't have to hit a big slinging draw. It's more of a normal golf hole now.
Okay.
Because the approach there has always been good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bad drive.
Yeah.
And 9, they took all that stuff out on the right and cleaned that up.
Good.
That was really Malariaville over there, right?
Yeah.
That was really, really buggy, really nasty up there.
Exotic diseases up there.
Yeah, for
tropical diseases.
Anyway, so I play the event. I'm out there with our boy Bracey, right?
Yeah.
Adam Bracey from Tavistock.
The Tavistock ambassador.
Yeah, the ambassador. I mean, so we both have had recent experiences with him, right? I mean, would you say one of the best guys you could possibly play with in something like that?
Yeah, he's like a 99th percentile playing partner.
In
any event.
Better to play with than you and I.
I agree.
100% agree. A better guy to play with than if you see Adam Bracey on your tee sheet, you should really be excited for the day.
Right. It's almost like this should earn him more gap pairing requests.
Right.
Hey, can I
randos?
All of a sudden, hey, can I get a comfy pairing with Bracey? Right? You should get more of those.
You got to be prepared to drink, but so that's what I'm leading into. So you got to be prepared to drink, and you got to be prepared to hear a lot about Tavistock, right? I mean, by the time you're done the round, you understand the master plan, right?
the core values, the mission of the club, right? The whole thing. I mean, we were saying it wouldn't be surprising to see him hauling out of Kinko's with Tavistock marketing material, right, to hand out at some of these events.
To leave on windshields and stuff, right? Yeah, I mean, you turn around and he's clipping on a Tavistock towel to your bag, right? But this is the old logo. We're getting a new logo. I'll get you some sketches over, right? No, we love Adam so much, man. We really do. It's just funny busting his balls because the guy loves Tavistock, man. He's all in. That's the kind of guy you need. So I mean, he took you from having a 0% chance of ever joining there to a non-zero chance.
I would say 5 to 10% chance.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's all you can ask for out of a salesman, right?
Yeah.
You take a dead lead, and all of a sudden the guy's alive again, right?
Yeah, he can pop up in your CRM, right? It's an opportunity. Yeah, he just wants to get all the get all the players in South Jersey in one club,
I love the idea. I mean, we don't have many of us, so
no, yeah, and they're in AA.
I know,
and that's really the great part about it. That's the fun. That's the fun part about the gap matches. I know we talked about that on the gap match pod, but playing in AA is a lot different than the B division that we've played in for years.
Yeah,
seemingly years.
Yeah,
so.
That's certainly something that's intriguing. The fact that they're in AA and they have the history of gap match history and stuff like that. It's the only club in South Jersey that has that, right? I mean, Little Mill has had it as of recent, but I feel like Tavistock's been that way. Probably going back 20, 30 years now.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had good players throughout, for sure.
But anyway, so I play with those guys. I'm drinking, and when I'm drinking on the course, you know me, I just start leaving everything. It turns into a yard sale pretty quickly, right? Stuff just starts falling out of my pockets, right?
Right. As soon as they see you in the with the drink in your hand, they might as well just give a call to the Salvation Army because they know there's just going to be a haul waiting for them at the The cart shack.
You call up the first tee. Yeah, you call up the first tee out at Walnut Lane. Just say, guys, we got a couple wedges coming. Like,
yeah, we got a live one out here at Whitford.
Yeah, so this takes the cake. So I play, I finish, I go and take a shower, shoot the shit for a half hour, and hit the road. I got asked to play in this big money scramble at Burlington that they have every year. Right, last minute.
Next day.
Yeah, the next day they needed a player, whatever. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll go out there. Starts at 12:30. I show up. I'm just shooting the shit, eat some lunch, take advantage of the open bar, whatever. 12:15 comes around. I'm like, oh, I'll go hit some balls real quick, hit 15 balls, and go out to scramble, whatever. I don't need to hit. I don't want to beat myself out. Pop open my trunk, no clubs. After I just put money on my team, right? After whatever, right? Like after I'm already in.
Pot committed.
I'm pot committed at this point, right? I'm like, I'm all into this tournament. I'm really getting excited. No clubs. So I instantly call Whitford. Hey, I played there yesterday. I think I left the whole bag of clubs there. I'm pretty sure, right?
You just left it on a cart?
No, just at the drag drop. Okay. Yeah. I call them up. And they're like, sorry, man, there's no clubs here. Like we've looked, there's no clubs.
Oh my god.
And at this point, my heart's sinking. Like not only do I have to post someone else's clubs, I don't even know where my clubs are, right? This might be the last round of the year, I'm thinking. Yeah. Right? So I run over to Mike Mack, right, who was I can't believe how patient he was with me. He's getting ready to call off the all right, and do the rules, and send everybody out. And I'm like, Mike, I got no clubs. Like he's literally got his sheets out ready. I'm like, Mike, I'm so sorry, I got nothing, man. He goes, you got no clubs? What are you talking about? I'm like, dude, I got nothing. I left my clubs somewhere. He's like, all right, let's get you a bag together. So we literally go into his back room. We're just shoving clubs in a bag. Right? He's like, how many? I'm like, how many is that? He's like, 12. Here's another one. He's like, what do you want, a 5-wood or a hybrid? I'm like, I don't know, man. Just whatever you got. Just throw it in there. So I throw this makeshift bag together, right? And I run to the range as he's doing the announcements, hit 5 balls. I'm like, this is going to be awful, man. This is so sad, right? Such a great opportunity. I can win some money, whatever. And I have guys that I don't know any of them, right? Completely random dudes. And I'm supposed to be the A player, and I'm showing up with Mike Mack's bag, right? No head covers. I just look like a complete jackass. So the first thing I tell them was sorry, boys, I don't have my clubs. And that's not what guys who just spent cumulatively thousands of dollars to play this event want to hear. Oh, we got this A player. He doesn't even have his clubs, right? He's late to the tee. It was such a debacle, dude.
Oh my god.
But I actually ended up playing good, which was good somehow. I actually really did play really solid. And we came tied for third, and we lost in the playoff for third. But it was nonetheless, it was a good day, and it was fun. But all throughout the day, I'm calling Whitford every 2 hours because I'm just having anxiety out there, dude. I'm I can't my season.
I wouldn't be able to play.
My season's over. I'm thinking I can't. Because at this point in the season, I'm not going to be able to get this bag together. I'm not really thrilled about forking out $4,000 to get new clubs and new everything, right? And yeah, nothing all day. And then I finally get a text from the pro over there at 8 p.m. He's like, we found your clubs. They were in a janitor's closet or something. Oh my God. Or a coat closet. That's or something. Nuts. I guess one of the cleaning people found them when they came in. They were left out overnight, and they just stuck them in with the vacuums or something.
Oh
right?
My God.
Oh man, I still don't have them. I got to go pick them up at some point. It shows how disinterested in the game I am right now. But yeah, that was the latest debacle. So right now I got no clubs. But
okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So last thing, you want to touch on the you played in the Canoebrook thing. We were talking about Bracey. You played with him in that, right?
Yeah. We played at the Canoebrook Scratch. They call it the Scratch Invitational up there in Summit, New Jersey. It's a partner tournament. Me and my partner Jimmy Komarski played. The format is they have 2 courses there, north and south. You play 36 holes one day. You play better ball partners on north course, and then you flip over to south. Which is a little bit shorter and quirkier, and you play modified Pinehurst, so it's select drive, alternate shot into the hole. And dude, just in the entire totality of the event, it's probably the most fun event I have for the year. Just all in, right? You get, me and Jimmy went up the week before, complimentary practice round. We basically played 36 holes up there, and just the staff is awesome.
Buzzed around in the car.
Around, not too many people out there. Conditions were just excellent. We played it 2 days after that 10 inches of rain. Mm-hmm. It was freaking perfect. The staff is so nice. Everyone's so welcoming there. The conditions of the course for the actual event were just so tournament. Greens were probably running around like 12 and a half, 12. Just perfect. What an awesome day to spend with a buddy. And we got the pleasure of playing with Bracey in the north, the better ball portion. We had a great time out there. But again, that appears to be my speed of golf at the moment. I can't compete in any capacity on my own. But with a partner that can pick me up left and right in these events, it's such a blast out there, man.
In that North Jersey golf we've talked about, I mean, Canoe is almost, it's right in the heart of North Jersey, right off the Parkway. You would say quintessential North Jersey course, right?
Quintessential, everything, right? Range, quintessential,
yeah.
Right?
Crammed in
on the side,
limited space,
right? Limited, yep. On mats, right? And then like the short game area right behind it. Like so quintessential, massive clubhouse, beautiful facilities, just expansive.
Great locker room. All, like just like the experience, the caddies, the vibe, the pro shop, everything was just totally world class. No Donald Ross in that pro shop.
No, there's not a Don Ross in sight. No Cutter and Buck, no fairway and green. None of that.
No wall.
No, none of that. The one we gotta play fair here. The one bad thing I'll say, the one criticism I'll have of the event, we did get a tee gift. It was a big letter hat.
Ooh, the Brook.
Canoe.
Ooh,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, if I didn't nitpick anything about the event.
You should mail it to Michael Block.
Right?
Mail it to Block.
Canoe.
Maybe his next sponsor's exemption will wear it.
Yeah, but besides the tea gift, Canoe, big letter hat, I mean, the event was sensational.
Something tells me those weren't the hottest sellers and they were just trying to push those off onto you guys.
Right.
I don't think that was really like what they were probably initially going for.
Right. 'Cause last year we got a nice towel.
Yeah,
right?
nice. I still have that towel, which is a small miracle.
Right. Yeah, but the event is just world class. All 3 meals, open bar, open everything, just like a world class experience for a day there.
And the conditions up at those courses, I mean, what is going on up there? I mean, they're just so good, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this time of the year, it's almost like I'm so out. Like we've talked, like really now, I'm really out on playing around here until the fall turns. I just have no interest in sloshing around at one of these South Jersey tracks. Yeah, we had reports of guys at Laurel Creek literally losing control of the carts coming down very minor slopes down there in Mount
Not
Laurel.
a lot of elevation.
No, just like just a completely sloppy track there after just and then you go up the Canoe Brook and it just seems like once again it's a different world up there.
Yeah, it's almost like an alternate universe, right? And the stuff you hear about, the hot, humid weather during the summer and like courses in the Northeast stand no chance with the grass types and all that. I don't think Canoe Brook minded.
Maybe it's something with the emissions or something up there from the Parkway or something.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe who knows what's going on.
Something
up there,
in the soil. The soil's
so
resistant to those hot, humid conditions out there. You would have never known they had 10 inches of rain the week prior. I can't say enough about that event, man. The vibe, a lot of fun.
I love it. We just got to get a little bit better so we can start getting invited to this stuff more often.
Right. Yeah. You got to take your shots seriously. Hopefully, we can get into more of these.
Yeah. All right. So that's all we got. I think. Right, Ben? That's it.
Yeah. We covered some ground on this one.
Yeah, it's funny. We're entering that period of time where there's just not much to talk about. I don't know if there's enough content to fill an episode around here. I mean, I got the Gap 4-ball at 1912 next week. I don't think that's going to be too riveting of a storyline.
No. You might shoot a couple under.
Yeah, probably. Sure. Yeah, I think I'm just going to pick my clubs up that day at this point. I'm not checked out. I'm just going to go to Whitford, pick them up, and just go play.
Just see what game.
See what happens. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. At this point, who cares? I mean, really, what are we working towards, right?
Sure.
It's time to. It's time to slow it down. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks as always for tuning in, and enjoy your Labor Day, and let's get excited for some fall golf.
Thanks.